Okay, so I just finished the first chapter of this book, How to. Oh, no, not How to Build a Mind. It's actually How the Mind Works by Steven Pinker, and finished up the chapter Standard Equipment, which basically says we have to, in the conclusion, says that we have to get over postmodernism and deconstructionism in order to really engage in a discussion about consciousness and the way that the mind works. And then we went to chapter 2, Thinking Machines. And I just read the introduction of this chapter, but basically he poses, well, he starts off with a Twilight Zone like summary of one of the shows, and he talked about this on the show. This guy went up to an asteroid and was sentenced to work on the asteroid for like 15 years. And one day his boss, who comes and like manages the asteroid, came by and dropped off a robot as a gift. And eventually, well, at first the guy was repulsed by the robot, and eventually he came to like fall in love with the robot. And then at the very end of the film, or at the end of the show, the boss comes back and says, okay, you've been pardoned, it's time to go home, but you can only take 15 pounds of gear with you, and the robot weighed more than 15 pounds. And so the guy like says, hey, I just want to stay here. I love this robot, because he fell in love with the robot. And the boss takes a gun and just like shoots the robot in the head, and like wires come out and shows like obviously it's a robot, even though it was played by a really hot female actress. But yeah, so Steven Pinker ends the introduction after that little brief story by asking the questions: what makes intelligence possible? What makes consciousness possible? And then saying that cognitive science is starting to explain what makes those things possible. And then asks, what is consciousness? And he says, just like Louis Armstrong said about jazz, lady, if you have to ask, you'll never know. So he says in the first chapter, or in this second chapter, he will explore what intelligence is, how a robot or a brain can achieve it, and how our brains actually do achieve it. And then he'll talk about what we do and don't understand about consciousness. So he'll talk about the limitations of our knowledge. One of the questions, he says, could a mechanical device ever duplicate human intelligence? The ultimate test being whether it could cause a real human to fall in love with it. And if a human-like machine could be built, would it actually be conscious? Yes, and I will do it. I will make it.